No use on turning on your light, babe. Um, yeah. I watched Complete Unknown today, and I thought that it was outstanding. I mean, okay, not outstanding, because my first initial thoughts were biopics aren't that great all of the time. The only other biopic I really messed with is Rocket Man and also Priscilla, right? Those are my main two, and they're my top two if anyone wants to ask, you know what I mean? People will go, biopics, go! And I'd be like, Rocket Man and Priscilla. That's what I would say. And I wouldn't say any others, because I feel like all the rest, we don't want to talk about them. But I feel like I made a letterbox list today after I saw Complete Unknown, and it went into my semi-decent biopics, because I feel like A Complete Unknown is a semi-decent biopic. And I'll explain why. People were saying they don't think Timothy Chalamet is Bob Dylan, but I was like, no, like, when I was seeing the collages before, of when they were saying that Timmy was gonna be Bob Dylan, they would put them side to side, and I was like, Timmy looks like Bob, and I was like, who else could play Bob if not Timothy, you know? Excuse me. I just thought, who else could do it justice, or who could look like Timmy? There was one thing though when I was watching it today. I don't even know if that was true, but it looked like Timmy had a prosthetic nose on. I did not search that afterwards. In terms of, like when you watch a film, then you're gonna go and look at the facts. I don't know if he was wearing a prosthetic nose or not, but he looked like he was. I mean, I think Bob Dylan, I think Bob Dylan back then, he had a big nose, or big snozzle, but I thought to myself, but like, if Timmy's wearing a fake nose, I thought to myself, that's not really necessary. The main point where I think I saw that I felt like he had a fake nose when he was talking to Sylvia, and then that's in their early bits of their relationship. And then there's that scene when they're walking home, and the next scene, Bob Dylan's in the record store. Yeah, he's in the record store. But the scene previous to that, then they do a scene where it's his face, and then it looked like he had a fake nose on. Yeah, so sorry. Moving on from that though, but obviously, and as the film went on, I think early in the film, I was not believing Timmy being Bob Dylan, but then when the film went on and it went further, I was like, I can believe Timmy is Bob Dylan. Do you know what I mean? I can believe it. Because I believe it because I see it. No, but no, it just felt true. And then I think what also cemented that for me, was the way that he was acting as Bob Dylan, and then also the singing bits. And obviously everybody, I think, it's crazy because everyone said how Timmy had to work on this film. He sang all of the songs in the film. None of them was lip syncing, sorry. And I bet you, flipping, who were playing, like Edward Norton, who was playing Pete, and probably that other guy who was playing Johnny Cash, they probably lip synced. We know that. Are they singers? I don't think so. I mean, Timmy's not a singer either, but we know that he can sing, because I think even when Bob Dylan was on, actually, I kept thinking about him as Willy Wonka, and I just kept thinking that, he sang in Willy Wonka, innit? And I was like, Timmy can sing, and we know that. But he just sounded really great. He sounded really great as Bob. I felt like he was putting on an accent, as in trying to sing authentically like Bob, and then and then obviously then the vocals were just great, pretty much. basically. Also, a complete unknown introduced me, or well, no. What I wanted to say is, it cemented like my, or furthered. Sorry, it furthered my love for folk music. I've always liked folk music, and I never knew who Joan Baez was, and I love that because I feel like leaving the cinema, it was like I'd left the cinema with a new artist. Do you know what I mean? I never expected that to happen. Of course, I know Bob. Of course, I know Johnny Cash, and I was like, okay, these are people I already know. I was like, I know these people. I listen to them from time to time. Do you know what I mean? Then Joan, I was like, oh my gosh, like Joan is now new on our radar, and we will be listening to her today, tomorrow, probably tomorrow though, because I started listening to her a little bit like after I came in, and like and I was on Spotify and I was listening to her a little bit, but we need an actual, like, I need more time and I think it's tomorrow, and then sit down and listen to her whole album, because I think I started listening to is it Diamonds and something. So I started listening to that, and then yeah. Another thing that I'll also say about another thing I'll also say about what's it called? About a complete unknown is that I loved, like, yeah, I feel like all the I think, no, I want to say that yes, most of the musical performances in the film stood out to me, and that was the main thing that stood out to me about the whole biopic. And that feels bad to say, because I'm like to myself, am I not bothered about the storyline and more so about the music? But the music captured me. I don't feel any shame in that. I love music, and I think that in a way, I'm like, that's probably what they wanted that film to do. Like, sure, we were learning about Bob. Things I learned about him, yeah, which I'll say now really quickly, because obviously I didn't know much about him, but I'll say them now because I don't have much to say on that. But like, what I will say is that, yeah, I didn't realize that Bob, I didn't realize he didn't like fame. And it's something that I noted, or it's something that you could, like, it was apparent after he got famous. It became apparent that he didn't like fame, and I guess he didn't like not being in control. He didn't like being an artist that, like, yeah, could not have control over what they do, but not a lot of artists do, if we're honest. And I just think that's the music world for you, to be honest. And maybe, that's what he didn't like about it. And I think, oh no, I don't think that's all he didn't like about it. Yeah, he just didn't like the fame aspect. And I don't know. I sometimes think, like, when I look at celebrities sometimes, it's not like all of them like the fame aspect to them. I think they just want to be normal people sometimes, basically. And sometimes they're not, and they're not able to be that, because people are in their business 99 or 90% of the time. And I think that's probably like the downside of, anyways, yeah, of course, that's the downside of being a celebrity anyway. So yeah, like, as in, I can understand that from his point of view. Like, I think, what did they say? I think, what were they saying? Oh, because I searched it up afterwards. I mean, when I left the cinema, and then I went on Google and I typed in, does Bob Dylan like being famous? And then it said no, and that he used to just tell lies to people when they would interview him about his personal life, because obviously he didn't feel like he owed them anything, or owed them an answer into his life, so he would just say random things, which is not crazy. I think that's perfectly fine, It's like, why does everyone have to know everything, And I always feel sorry on that aspect of celebrities, like, of them not getting to just be themselves. I think even off subject matter, like, when I saw Zendaya on the Golden Globes, showcasing her engagement ring, I was just thinking, like, why though? You know, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. That makes me sound ungrateful. Like I didn't want to know about her and Tom's engagement. Of course I did, but I think it's like I think that they probably wouldn't want to share it, but then she probably wanted to share it because it's such big news. But I just think to myself, of course, if they weren't like famous, then they wouldn't have she wouldn't have like showcased it at the Golden Globes pretty much basically. So yeah, I don't know. I guess sometimes, yeah, I just think with celebrities, yes, you even ask yourself, why are you so involved in their business? And I guess mass media does that, or has a way of doing that, of making you care about these things when it's not really any of your business. But what I will say is, I wonder how true that is in the film of like Bob being a player of somewhat, because what he dated like 3 women in that entire film. But and then of course when we say 3, we think, wow, that's not a lot. But I mean, like, yeah, it just made it seem like he was some kind of, yeah, like he was some scandalous musician. I don't know how true that is. Like, that's what I mean. I sometimes think, like, yeah, you always do think that biopics anyways. You're just like, are they factual? Are they not? We don't really know. Because, I don't know. I think, no, him being with Joan was a fact. But I meant to myself was a fact that he dated, well, that he was with Joan in the way that it was shown in the film. Like, was he really with her right after Sylvie leaving? Because obviously then we're just like that. Yeah, that doesn't paint a pretty picture. But hey, no judgments here. Not really, but also yes. Yeah, he's a complicated guy. I'll be honest, he's a complicated guy. I also didn't know who the guy was who wasn't well, Woody. I didn't know who he was either. I should probably research him as well. I mean, because I'm curious to know who he was, basically, and like probably like his music and stuff like that. That'd be really interesting to check out. Yeah, that'd be really interesting to check out. But as I thought, like leaving the cinema, like, and I gave it a 5 star on Letterboxd as well, because I really didn't have any. I didn't have any thoughts. I mean, not because I had thoughts. I didn't have any bad, like, what's the word? Yeah, bad things to point out about it, you know? I always sometimes do think that every time I go into a Timmy film, is it because I'm, yeah, I'm a diehard Timmy fan, that it's like, I don't have any, what's it called? It makes me, no, it makes me sound like I'm going to say that I'm biased because, I think Timmy is the greatest actor of our generation. I'm joking. But no, like no, I wouldn't say. I just think sometimes, yes, I might. Can I really say that anything that Timmy's in? Do I ever like? Will I ever truly say that it's bad? And I feel like I probably won't. You know, that's like a fear in my head. But it's like, yeah, it makes me think that that's true. But then I also think that if yeah, I think if A Complete Unknown was bad, I would just say that. And I think also, because how I started off saying about biopics, I do think if it was a bad biopic, I would just say so. Because there's so many of them already out here, basically, you know. There's so many bad biopics like out in the atmosphere right now. So that's what I'm trying to say. If I wanted to say that A Complete Unknown was bad, I would just say that, you know. So there we go. But yeah, and I generally don't think it was, you know. I don't think it was. So I mean, even how they said it in the film, I don't really feel like I learned anything about, because I think, was it Joan? Remember Joan tried to say to him that oh no, it wasn't Joan. Was it Joan and Sylvie? No, it was mainly Sylvie. She was saying she doesn't know anything about him. So that's the same thing for me also. I've already come out of this film only knowing one main thing about Bob, which is that he he doesn't like fame, and that's it. I don't really, you're like to yourself, we don't really know anything else about him. Like, I don't know, for example, you can say with like Michael Jackson, you're like, the guy has a family of like, of like 6 or 7 or 8, but like, you know, and then you know some of the family members aside from Michael, and you know, that's saying a lot, do you know what I mean? But with Bob, it feels like you don't really know much about him, other than the forefront, I guess. And I think, like, this biopic hasn't done that either. Like, it's not really giving you much background info, so to speak. I feel like, you know, like how a biopic can do, where it kind of like takes you through everything. Sometimes it takes you through like early life to end of career, basically. It takes you all the way through that, but I don't really feel like a complete unknown like carried that set list, carried through that kind of checklist. It didn't do that, you know what I mean? Because it, like, obviously we start out in the film, I feel like the date was 1961, yeah, and that is where the film starts out, and you start out with Bob in a van. Is it a van? Actually, no, it might have been a taxi. Yeah, excuse me, he's in a taxi, and then but it's like he's just flown out of water. Like he's just a fish out of water practically, because you don't really know anything about him. You don't know how he came to be there. All you know was that he's on this mission where he was looking to find the Woody guy because he wanted to meet Woody, but we don't really know how he got there, you know, or why he's there, basically. But yeah, a complete unknown, yes, was a definite 5 to me, and I don't think that I don't know. I think also what I was thinking was, I don't know, I just do think when you can tell the difference between a good biopic and a bad one, I just think, like, I don't know, if you feel like you're being spoon-fed trauma, you feel like it's bad, because why not highlight the good things? So that's for me sometimes the mark of a bad one. And then a good one is like what I'm trying to say, like with this type of biopic, or how they've done a complete unknown. You know, we've gone through all of Bob's greatest hits. You know, we've seen him perform at the Newport Festival like twice. I mean, in the whole entire film, I think he performed there like twice or 3 times. But like, so you see him do that. I guess you see him grow from being not famous to famous. Not that he, you know what I mean? Like, not that he cares about that or being famous, but you do see that shift. And I just, yeah, I think that is the right way, you know. I think that's how biopics should be done, basically. And that's my final note on that. To just add, I was just listening to a no, to like a Rolling Stone, um, and and then now I listen to Bob's version as well. I'm listening to Timmy's repeatedly ever since I watched the film. I can't get it out of my head, but weighing them up towards comparing them between one another, yeah, the similarities. So it's uncanny. He really did try to perform that in the song because I think he tried to get down Bob's mannerisms and how he says words. And like, that was my main thing that I noted in those two, like, same song, different version. And then, of course, the original's Bob's, and then you have Tim's. So, and we don't need to, like, there's no need to say, oh, yeah, which one is better. Um, they're both reasonably good. It's just, I didn't think, when I was listening to it today, I didn't think that they sounded so similar. So, well done to Timmy, literally.